All right, farms and independent news. Dear Wicked Willie, I'd like to correct last week's listeners about the farmland confiscation. Oh, here's somebody who works for Buckingham Palace. I don't know. It's happening in the Netherlands, not Norway. Oh, okay. Sorry. It's blood boiling what's going on there. The news has tried to smear them as right-wing. Their story is frustrating because there is literally no one but independent news outlets that will... nobody but independent news outlets that will give their side of the story. Yeah, it's evil. I wish more people realized how much mainstream news on the conservative side and the we do no wrong, bleeding heart liberal side. The liberal side infuriates me because I'm liberal and I'm watching these people acting like they think about people and they don't. And it drives me up the fucking wall. Everybody on CNN can just all of that. It's corporate fucking news. All right? Sorry. All right. You go to Fox News, you know that they only give a fuck about themselves. That's what I expect. All right. Also, I'd like to add a glimmer of hope to terrible world media, terrible world of media we live in. Oh, good. In the last few years, independent journalists have been gaining a lot of traction. Yeah, they're going to be our only hope, but they're going to have to somehow try and unify people. You know what I mean? Even what I just did there, but that's why I try to trash CNN and Fox. I'm not trying to divide people. I'm trying to get people out from underneath listening to them. You know what I mean? It's like you ever be with somebody and they I don't know. They have a bad manager. They have a fucked up parent. They just have somebody that they just turned over all of this, a boyfriend or a girlfriend. That you're just trying to get them out of that zombified fucking state into my world of intelligence. Sorry, every once in a while, I get up on the stump and then I'm like, wait, what am I doing? I went to summer school. Anyway, let's continue reading here. Also, I'd like to add a glimmer of hope to terrible world media we live in. The last few years, independent journalists have been getting a lot of traction. The most interesting thing is that progressive-leaning and conservative-leaning independent journalists agree on a lot. Oh, my God. Is this a prank? That's what I'm hoping will happen. Check out Rising on the Hill Network. They run daily shows on YouTube that cover the news in the same way. Yeah, I like Jimmy Dore. Agree with them or not, I like Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore seems to be holding everybody accountable, which is why I feel like he gets attacked all the time. Trouble in the Suez. Billy Joel. I actually looked that up. We didn't start the fire. Here's all my excuses to not be a good person. All right, trouble in the Suez. It's likely referring to the war that happened in the Suez Canal in Egypt in the 60s or something. There's been several historic events surrounding issues with it. Although most recently that cargo ship that got wedged in it trying to do a fucking U-turn or some shit. That was fantastic. That was fantastic. I thought you were actually going to go into what happened. I actually looked it up, and from what I can remember, it was, I think there was a transfer of power where Egypt had the audacity to want to control the canal. And then other people say, well, fucking Britain or America, whoever built it. But it's going to be like, well, who did they build it with? Slave labor, probably with Egyptians. And then there's all of these different stats on how many people died. Like 120,000 people is the height. And then somebody else, it's only like 3,000 people. Imagine if you built, a football stadium isn't a comparable thing because it's just a football stadium. There actually was literally separating Africa, a continent, from Asia, right? You used to be able to walk from Asia to fucking Africa, right? So then there was this big fight. The Israelis came in, engaged, and then we had to come in and defend the Israelis, I think. I don't know what happened, but it just seems it's the usual stuff over there. That was Trouble in the Suez. Could you write a book? Hey, Billy Bob Thunder. Hey, Billy Bob Thunder Thighs. I just pictured Phil Hartman when he was being Bill Clinton going for a jog and stopping at McDonald's, that sketch. And I also remember when Bill Clinton used to go running and he wore those short shorts and he had those giant, like, fucking milky thighs. I've listened to the podcast since high school and I'm a fan of your work. I know that you can't read all that great, but I wondered if you'd ever write a book. I'm reading Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lads, and I've been thinking how great it would be to hear old Billy's memoir. I bet you've got some wisdom to share somewhere in that dented pumpkin head. Come on, man. I got enough hang-ups. I don't need to know my head needs Bondo. Good luck on your 100th I've been working out routine. We need you around for your shit jokes. Go fuck yourself. Hey, fuck you, man. Stop acting like you found out a workout plan and you stuck with it and didn't start and stop. All right? I don't need this shit. You heard what happened. I kept saying, how many times did I have to tell my wife I'm going to the gym? I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. All right? Because she wants to go out and go get fucking coffee. You know, because she's living her best life. She got her revenge body for the fucking Christmas season or whatever the fuck you're supposed to do. All right, next. Giants in the USA. Giants in the USA. This looks interesting as hell. Hey, Bill, have you seen this? The book begins with this quote from Abraham Lincoln in 1848. Giants were clearly a real thing to him. Now, this is his quote. The eyes of that species of extinct giants whose bones fill the mounds of America have gazed on Niagara as ours do now. Wow, what a slick way to just completely go around organized religion, not even addressed it, but dunk in their face by saying that. You know what? I bet that is just a big of reason that he got fucking assassinated. You have to organize religion, or if you say, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't oppress other people. Those are the two fucking biggest ways to get yourself whacked. There have been hundreds of sites, or not giving them a war. There's been hundreds of sites with giant bones buried in them discovered across the USA in the last 400 years. Why wouldn't we talk about that? That's fascinating. Why do people have a problem with the fact that we're not the only thing in the universe? It's not good for business. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Yamaka, and the fucking whatever else you're fucking into. And many documented in newspaper articles from the 19th century, which are shown in the book. In the last 150 years, the bones have tended to go to the Smithsonian, where they disappear. Dude, what level of wealth do you have to get to? You know what I mean? Where you live forever, you see the giant bones, you know? You're talking to aliens, they take you up on the spaceships, right? Maybe that's what happens. Maybe that's the Illuminati level rich people. Maybe they don't die. They just fake their death and they get on a flying saucer and then they go to a new... Maybe that's why they're not worried about global warming, because they can get to another planet. They're like, well, there's hundreds of millions of Earths. If you got the transportation... Dude, that's a great sci-fi movie. All right? Mel Gibson drives a cab. Hear me out. He's driving a cab, and his conspiracy is that the super rich keep going around from Earth to Earth, around the universe, or the solar system, gamma ray, whatever the fuck you call it. And they just keep using up planets and destroying the planets and leaving all these people behind. But why would that be bad? Then they're kind of keeping the human race going. That'd be fucking hilarious if they actually do that. And then when this country's going under, they're like a human, Like, maybe that's the thing that they left off of Noah's Ark. Maybe Noah's Ark wasn't actually an ark. It was a fucking flying saucer. And not only did he grab two fucking animals from each species, which really doesn't work out because they would all be interbred like fucking Dalmatians, right? Maybe they do that with people too. Two white people, two black people, two Asians, two Latino, through the whole fucking thing. You'd have to get more than that. That never works. The math never works out on that. And as much as organized religion comes down on people fucking around, it's the swingers that probably got us out of the inbredness of Adam and Eve. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, somebody had to, like, fucking, I don't know, stretch it out a little bit. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about.